The unemployment number today change things in terms of timing for a rate hike for you?
Well, first of all, hello and thank you for having me. Well, look, the way I see it is one number, and it's clearly a good number. I mean, there's no doubt about it. If you look at the nuts and bolts of it, it's not only the headline number that obviously flashes on the screen, it's also the participation, which is going up. So it ticks all the boxes. But nevertheless, we've got to keep in mind it's one number and it's one indicator out of many. And if you look at other things such as investment in the UK, etc., it's not really going up. And there's always the option, to come straight to your question, for the Bank of England to revise its framework either marginally or maybe not so marginally come early next year, which will change the picture a bit. So long story short, we think at this stage it's too early to say that it really dramatically alters the path for the bank rate.
Now, Peter, I know that your house call for the Fed taper is in March. I just want to find out what would happen. I mean, what would the impact be for markets if the Fed did taper today?
I mean, let me first of all. I think it's a brilliant question. I mean, let me stress that I think we're not alone in calling for non-taper today. In fact, our call is for March, as you said. But that's probably the majority of people out there. But there are quite a few who call for an early taper, which means that we probably have some probability priced in, which means that either way it goes, I would expect some kind of a market reaction. If we have a taper today, and I think that's the off consensus one, then we probably have a rather strong market reaction. I think it's going to be, first of all, negative for the bond market quite clearly, particularly at the longer end of the curve, which implies a steepening. And I think it's also going to be relative in terms of the US versus the euro area in particular, but also the UK, meaning that the US is going to do poorly.
Shifting back to Europe, we've had strong IFO numbers from Germany. No surprise there after the PMI numbers, of course. Are you more concerned about the widening gap between Germany and France now?
I think concern is the wrong word. I mean, we note it, and it's certainly it's a pattern that's not here since yesterday, and it's probably not going to go away tomorrow either. It's a constant theme, and the reason is because there's obviously a very different fundamental backdrop to what's happening in Germany, where some of the reform measures that have been done at the moment elsewhere in Europe have been done almost 10 years ago, and what's going on in France, where we just saw the beginning of it. So I would not be too surprised, particularly in a pickup environment of economic activity, to see the gap widening indeed.